Pastor, what comes with moving forward? I'm glad you asked. The first thing that we see out of this text is you've got a powerful presence. Look at verses 19 through 22, because it would appear that the people are literally at a rock and a hard place. Whichever way they were to go, there is something in their way. Egypt is behind them. The Red Sea is in front of them. Ever since they departed from Egypt, they have not been alone. With them was the presence of God that had been manifested in multiple ways. This powerful presence initially in the text took on the responsibility of leading them. But by this text now, this presence is protecting them. Not only do they have a powerful presence, but then the text shows us they've got a persistent pursuer. Still not letting go. Pharaoh continues to go after them. It's both God's doing and their doing as to why he's still going. This is God's doing because it is God who tells Moses, I'm going to harden his heart. For the sake of God's power being made abundantly clear. It's God's doing because it is God who wants to bring glory out of this whole situation. Yet to the Israelites, there could have been another way. What do when God seems like the culprit of the trouble that you're facing? Never forget a sermon my pastor preached. Is it God, the devil, or both? Because sometimes we want to blame, that was Satan. Sometimes God, yes, your God, allows some stuff to come that might hit a little harder than Satan's attack. Come here, Job. It was God who allowed Satan to attack Job. But here's the thing. God told Satan, you can do everything you want to do, but don't mess with his soul. God is the culprit, in a sense, behind Egypt pursuing them. But what comes moving forward? You got a powerful presence. You've got a persistent pursuer, but you got a prepared path. Look at the ending of this, verse 26 through 29. Though it's difficult for them to drive, Pharaoh is like a bad ex. He's still coming. He's still at hot pursuit. And I'm sure that they can see the handiwork of the miraculous power of God by seeing that waters have been divided. By this time, God has already caused the wind to push the waters to divide. And because of this, they probably assume that if Israel can walk through this, then certainly we can. However, the text shows me that what God prepares for one isn't always the same for someone else. What God causes for one, even though they're on the same path, in a sense doesn't always mean that God will cause that to be for somebody else. Can I tell you something? Just because we on this same path don't mean your path is prepared like my path. Just because we're walking on this same journey don't mean that everything gonna turn out the way it turned out for me. Why? Because my path has been prepared for me and yours has been prepared for you. God commands Moses to stretch his hand. I'm going to prove this point here. And the people are told to keep walking. God is working because God is holding up these waters. They are walking through a prepared path. with waters on the right and water on the left, and they are able to walk through, yes sir, on dry ground. However, once the Israelites made it through, once the last person crossed that red dry ground, God tells Moses, take your same hands, stretch them out again. And when he did, the waters returned and the Egyptians drowned. That's the end of the story. The path for dry ground was prepared for Israel, but it came in different results. For Israel, this was a path for their deliverance. However, for the Egyptians, it was a path for their demise. Can I tell you something this year? While you're moving forward, don't you be so tempted to follow after and on somebody else's path because it wasn't prepared for you. You got to do it, and if you're going to do that, you're going to do it at your own risk. Would you look around at somebody and tell them there's a prepared path that's been made for all of us? Come on, tell somebody, don't you get on my path, because my path may not look like your path, but God has already prepared a path for all of us. All you got to do is keep on moving. Would you tell somebody, tell them, neighbor, I don't know what's behind you. Tell them, neighbor, I don't know what's in front of you. But tell them, neighbor, we got to keep on moving. Would you grab somebody and say, neighbor, keep on moving. Come on, look at somebody and say, neighbor, come what may, take a step, keep on moving. It gets rough, keep on moving. Something might be behind you, but tell them, move on, move on. The path has been cleared. I know you got some people here who have flown before, and when they get ready to take off, clear the runway, clear the runway. Look at somebody and tell them, neighbor, my path has been prepared. Excuse me. Walk on, keep on moving. Yeah, yeah. I done got happy on my own. Yeah.